Today, it's been a while since I talked on happiness, haven't I? I mean, I did talk on happiness a while back, but it was an old video. Not re. I probably should remake that video. It's been a long time. So this book, I had it for a while, and it's on the Dalai Lama on happiness, right? The art of happiness, and we all human want to find happiness or seek happiness, and I wonder. A long time ago, I never knew what was happiness, right? And how can happiness, if we're in a good mood or when we're happy, what do it look like, right? Before I ever got into, personal development or self-help stuff, I never knew. You hear the word happy, but what is happiness? What is the true meaning of happiness, or what does it look like? What what are like how do we achieve this um uh pleasure or ecstasy, so but yeah, it's almost, yeah, if you're happiness like ecstasy, right? But no, he says the art of happiness, he said that, where is it? I believe that every purpose of our life, not every, I believe that the very purpose of our life is to seek happiness. That is clear, whether one believe in religion or not, whether one believe in this religion or that religion, we are seeking something better in life. So I think the very motions of our life is towards happiness. With these words, spoken before a large audience in Arizona, the Dalai Lama cut to the heart of his message. But his claim that the purpose of life was happiness raised a question in my mind later when we were alone. I asked him, "Are you happy?" "Yes," he said. He paused, then added, "Yes, definitely." There was no quite sincerity in his voice that left no doubt. But happiness is a reasonable goal for most of us, I asked. Is it really possible? Yes, I believe that happiness can be achieved through training the mind. On the basic human level, I can't help but respond to the idea of happiness as an achievable goal. As like as a psychiatrist, however, I've been burdened by the notion, just as Floyd believed, that one feels inclined to say that the intention that men should be happy is not included in the plan of creation. This type of training has led many in my profession to the grim conclusion that the most one could hope for was the transformation of hysteric miserable into common unhappiness. From that standpoint, the claim that there was a clearly defined path to happiness seemed like a quite ration, radical idea. As I look back over my years of psychiatric training, I could rarely recall having heard the word happiness even mentioned as therapeutic objective. Of course, there was plenty of talk about relieving the patient's symptom of depression or anxiety, of resolving internal conflicts or relationship problems, but never with the expressly stated goal of being happy. The concept of achieving true happiness has, in the West, always seemed ill-defined, elusive, ungraspable. Even the word happy is driven from the Icelandic word hep, meaning luck or chance. Most of us seem share this view of mysterious nature of happiness. In those moments of joy that life brings, happiness feels like something that comes out of the blue. To my Western mind, it didn't seem like the sort of thing that one could develop, sustain simply by training the mind. When I raised that objection, the Dalai Lama was quick to explain, when I say training the mind in this concept, I'm not referring to the mind merely as one cognitive ability or the intellect. I'm using the term in the sense of Tibetan word sum, which has much a broader meaning, closer to psyche or spirit. It is include intellect and feeling, heart and mind. By bringing about a certain internal discipline, we can undergo a transformation of our attitude, our entire outlook, approaching to living. When we speak of this inner discipline, it can, of course, involve many things, many methods, but generally speaking, one begins by identifying those factors which lead to happiness and those factors which lead to suffering. Having done this, one then set about gradually eliminating those factors which lead to suffering and cultivating those which lead to happiness. That's the way. So let's talk about happiness for a second. Or for this whole talk, it's about happiness, right? Now, most people will say happiness is within us, right? And some say happiness is you can never find it or seek it, or um what I along my journey, what I see to be true is you can create happiness for yourself. I've seen it that too often when people are unhappy, it's because of something that uh, their environment or some of external uh, s- uh, reaction that they have to that environment. That could be whether they're dissatisfied with their job. Let's say I've seen it like happiness is have to do with many things that people, I hear and I see it. What make a person happy, it depends on them, right? Happiness can also be external. Like most people say, it's also within you. I think it's both, right? Because people go to the extremes and stuff like that. It's both. Because think about it. If it wasn't both, because I'm trying to make everything to come into a balance, right? Because when we get too far extreme, we become very unhappy, right? We go toward that um uh to becoming towards becoming unhappiness. I hear a range of things like a person happiness is their family, or I have interviewed people that happiness is loving what they do and their passion. Whether it's a kung fu master or a top entrepreneur, it's either putting in the work that they enjoy working. Like far too often people aren't happy with their current job. It's because either they're not growing, either they want something new, or they they working for because of money, right? They need to pay the bills, right? But what does make a person happy? Either, I've seen it either because, people are social creatures. We like to be connected and bond with people that also make us happy. Because the one who, I'm introverted, yes, but I like to connect with people who are like-minded and it make me happy. When we can like talk on and on subject that we like talk about, like personal development or whatever that subject is. I like to talk because um, when I connect with like-minded people, like the property manager, we talk for hours. Literally, I ask him question. We go back and forth. Like we would talk like for like I would just there for just ask a couple of questions and I start hearing him out and we start sharing ideas. I think for me it's about it's how like Tony Robbins always talk about where we humans go towards uh uh pleasure and we avoid punishment. That's the cognitive bias within the human brain. Because the reason why we go towards stuff that make us feel good is the release of dopamine, right? Every time we read a new book or look at the flashy cover, it releases a chemical called dopamine and it makes us feel good. um, and music also make us feel good. That's why we dance to the music. I think that we should create an environment that induce happiness, like to create happiness, right? I It's also on working with your body, your health. I've seen that the level of your health affect your mood too. The level of your, I think everything had to do with the also. I think also the environment affect how your mood. But for the fact is, I never knew that you could um, become happy, right? I remember I was studying personal development and reading stuff. I never knew that you can become happy. I thought happiness thing is like you try to um, find what it is, but it's whatever your happiness is. Whether you want to hike, people like to hike. Whether um, you're working in a career that you really love and it create your own happiness. That's happiness. That's true happiness. I think that's true success right there. Because if you're not happy, then that's not successful. Anything, even anything that we try to do, if you're not happy, then that's why you like how like people get depressed and pain. Um, let's say we go toward, let's say something happened in our life and we see that's chaos. But what one might look at a different way is that some will be depressed about it, other would be happy because they see a situation and they see the good in it. In every bad situation, there's something good in it to look. But sometimes people aren't open enough to be able to see it. Until later, they'll realize that they need that. Humans also are happy when they are helping other people. If you notice that when you help other people, you become more happier. I remember I did, I saw it. I was grocery shopping in the morning, and there was this. I don't know if he was Asian and he was an Indian guy, and he had a beautiful smile. And I was like, you have a beautiful smile. He said, thank you. And then after that, his smile brightened up, and it made me happy. I bet you he was happy. It's all about making other people happy too, because whatever our mood is, whatever, if we're unhappy or happy, we affect each other, right? If you're angry and upset, you affect another person mood or feeling. But if you're happy or smiling, you affect their happiness, and their facial feature uh, become more happier. Um, because we humans affect each other consciously, subconsciously, right? That's why you see mirroring matching. That's why you try to relate to people. You try to uh, uh, um, know where they're coming from, right? Because it's like people who are happy. You see people who are, let's say, they like anime or they like personal development. They like something of that nature, whatever that is. They tend to be more happy when they socialize with the same people instead of um, not with their not own kind, right? And we're gonna talk about um, progress, right? When we're not growing and when we're not doing something that we're not learning anymore, we're not growing. What happens is we become unhappy. We don't like our life because we haven't developed our skills, um, and we start to slide back and we start to hope and wish for things to happen. If you want to create the life that you want, or create happiness, or create a dream life, then it's your duty to do that which it's if it's a state of mind, then training the mind to produce. I think it's all about training the mind to produce the outcome that you want to create happiness. Whether it's doing the work that you would love to do, whether it's a career, a venture, whatever that may be, art or music. Surround yourself with things that you love. Like, I think that the thing that most people do is they surround themselves with the thing that they hate, and that's why they're unhappy. It is the environment that controls your happiness, right? So create an environment that control your inner world, your happiness. Some people, the reason why they do the thing they do is for their family. They're happy for their family. Some do it for the art, expression. What is art? Expression of who they are. Martial arts. I interviewed Ron Balicki. His master is Don Eni Santo, who was Bruce Lee, and when he talked about art, it's expression. When people draw, it make them happy. When people do the things that they do, it make them happy. Whether it's a family talking to their family or friends, or bonding with people, they become more happier. But people who aren't happy, they forgot how to become happy. They because of their own body, they haven't do uh, when you because your physical body affect your mood, right? I remember Tony Robbins always say that if you start to move, hold your chest up. I saw it was a video and he said hold up your chest, and when you lunge, and your body affect your mind. And when you work out or when you exercise, it affect your mind and your mood, and it make you feel good. So it's all about the internal and external world, right? Where You do what you love and create an environment that make you happy. Anything, I'm telling you. Right now, I'm surrounded by things that I love. I have I, me and my brother put a punching bag in my room because I was like, you know what, um, I need that in my life because he sleep in the living room and I need to like work on my body, so I start punching the punching bag, and I am surrounded by books which I love. I know people don't like reading. That's okay, but I believe that if you also learn to love learning or learn to love educating yourself, you'll become more happier. Because the people who learn or develop a skill set or that they become more happier. And uh, I have a TV, of course. You can watch. It's okay to watch. Movies. It's okay. It's okay. Of course, I want to create a dopamine rush, but because I associate that people aren't happy is because they sometimes. I mean, yeah, like it's like this, right? Happiness is also about connection with other people, right? That's why people go onto Facebook. But when it comes to people complaining about their life, you should not project negativity on Facebook because a lot of people waste their time on Facebook complaining instead of either creating the life that they want, um, or their dream. Usually, if you're chasing your dream, you become more happier. For me, my happiness is about growth, connection with others. Of course, I'm introvert, but also I want like time for myself. That make me happy because I want to recharge. When you're doing, let's say you're doing, because let's say when you're, doing hustle or you're doing the work, you're doing of your dream, it takes lots of out of you. So you need to recharge, and either you listen to music or I watch movies or binge watch something that I love to watch, either review on common uh, uh, Transformer review, Common Rider, or Super Sentai. Super Sentai is Power Rangers. Super Sentai is is translate is the original source of where Power Rangers was made, right. And but they're all superheroes, Common Rider and superhero. They're all superhero. But generally, the most happiest people is they do what they love and they're passionate. But also happiness people also create some when they become happy, it's because of their family. But it's also so some people get source of happiness or dopamine rush of material things. Whatever that happiness, bring that out. And happiness is also contribution, doing something that uh, to uplift humanity or something that you contribute. Whatever that people who don't contribute will never be happy. They always see. I think there's a time to be selfish and there's a time to be selfless, right? Selfish is you taking time for yourself to heal, to do what you need to do, to be full so you can give the gift to others, right? And I think that's happiness. And also stretching, right? Challenge, like you set a goal to stretch. Or, I mean, whatever that your goal is. For me, I set a goal to stretch. That make me happy. That's me. You don't have to be like me. And challenge, because you that's the whole learning and training the mind to learn to love. Um, Everyday life, even if it's a challenge to be happy. You hear all this violent stuff out there, and you wonder, can you be happy? Or you hear the negative news because the negative news is a mind control. It's everything. It's about external influences influencing how you see the world, so you become all negative. A smile too. When you smile, it create an effect on you too. And that's pretty much it in life. And I'll see you next time. It's a great book. There's other book on happiness, and I highly recommend the. I did a book talk on it. Um, I can't remember. It's called Happiness. Oh, the Happiness Track and the Happiness. I can't remember. I can't remember. But anyway, subscribe to my channel, like my video, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Become happy.